because it looks really fun to be a Swiftie. It looks really fun.
Hello, new best friend, and anyone who wouldn't have seen her video. That is my new best friend who is struggling with the idea that it looks very much fun to be a part of the Swiftie community and make the friendship bracelets and sing with your whole heart and your whole chest. But she's just not that into all of Taylor Swift's music. But realizes that those songs mean so much to people, and those songs have like saved people's lives and emotionally wrecked people. But she's not as into some of the music. And hi, I'm Ryan. They call me the Swimo guy. And 2 years ago, I was adopted by the Swifties. I still don't really know how. And I was not into Taylor Swift's music. I'm into emo and pop punk and hardcore and metal and stuff like that. And so I just want to tell you, you've already identified how you get into a fandom or a culture that you're not into and how I got into it. I've said for a couple years now, I was a Swiftie for the Swifties. The reason I became a Swiftie is because I was a fan of how the Swifties were so obsessed with Taylor Swift. Like, I found it fascinating how devoted they were and the culture that they built and the way they clown and the way they share friendship bracelets. And don't get me wrong, there's some like toxic behavior and there's some crazies and there's some bad apples, but like watching people make outfits for the Eras tour like it was Comic-Con, which is something that I related to, like Comic-Con making costumes. I didn't realize that could be a part of a pop star culture, and it was. Watching people make fan theories, which once again, for a more nerdy culture that I came from, didn't realize that could be a part of a pop star culture. The Easter eggs, watching their devotion, and the way they have followed this pop star since she was a teenager. And now they're handing it down, a lot of them, to their kids, and it's become multi-generational. It was inspiring and it was cool. And seeing, for me, how it had crossed genre lines. So you mentioned not being into her type of music. The way that they got me was by talking about the crossover into emo, and that Taylor Swift was an emo fan, and finding the common points between emo and Taylor Swift. And it got me. And so I would say for the first year and a half of my Taylor Swift fandom, I didn't listen to Taylor Swift. I listened to other bands do covers of Taylor Swift. I still probably listen to more Taylor Swift in the form of covers than I do actually listen to Taylor Swift. And even when I listen to Taylor Swift, you want to talk about how deep the lore gets. Taylor Swift has done so much now in terms of catalog. One of my favorite songs by Taylor Swift is Death by a Thousand Cuts. But I don't listen to the album version of Death by a Thousand Cuts. I listen to the Tiny Desk version of Death by a Thousand Cuts, which I think is way better. I don't like the album version. It's not my style. So I would have never discovered any of that if it weren't for the Swifties and how obsessed they are. And they know all the different versions and all the, oh, you don't like this, go listen to this. And you got to check this out. And don't listen to We Are Never Getting Back Together, the album version. Go listen to the tour version and stuff like that. And the longer I was in, the more deeply connected I became, and the more I heard the stories. And what became interesting for me, because Taylor is all about the eras, is eventually I knew the stories, and eventually I knew the history. And when Tortured Poets Department came out, I was deeply connected to it, and that became my era. And now I am kind of a Swiftie. So that's how you get in.